Hello friends, welcome to this video on GST. Let's discuss today what is value of supply under section 15 of the CGST Act and how is it important in ascertaining the correct value of supply for correct levy of GST. Now in order to find out the value of taxable supply, first let us understand this diagram or this format of calculation of value of supply and what are the important aspects of that. Now, in order to calculate value of supply under section 15.1, the three most important aspects here to be considered are price is actually paid or payable for supply of goods or services or both, and the price is the sole consideration and the supplier and recipient are not related. Then we have to adopt this method of finding out the transaction value or the value of supply and then levy GST accordingly. Now, if you go through the format, here we see value of supply in 15.1 calculated. That is, what is the value that is charged by the supplier to the recipient of service, and include all other values which is not included above. That is, under 15.2a, any taxes other than GST, duties, cess, fees and charges collected by the supplier from the recipient. Then you add under the provisions of 15.2b all the value of supplies made by the recipient on behalf of the supplier. Then under 15.2c we add all the commission and packing charges or incidental expenses in regard to the supply. Then interest or late fee or penalty for delayed payment is also added. All subsidies directly linked to the price is added. Here the exception is government subsidies are excluded from this aspect. Now, once you calculate this, then you give deduction under 15.3 with respect to discount and then arrive at the transaction value. We'll discuss about what are the kinds of discounts that is allowed in our next coming slides. Yes. Now, when we say discount is allowed to be deducted, the three most important aspects of allowing discount is, now we have to find out what is the kind or nature of discount that is eligible. Now, if the discount is given before or at the time of supply and is recorded in the invoice, then such discounts are eligible to be deducted from the value of supply to find out the transaction value. Now, the format given there is whatever is the value that you have found out, transaction value after adding the said aspects already discussed, then deduct the discount that is already agreed upon by the supplier and the recipient, and then find out the transaction value. Now, the second aspect is if the discount is given after supply but agreed upon before or at the time of supply and can be specifically linked to the relevant invoices, this discount can be claimed as deduction from transaction value. Here, discount is given after supply but agreed upon before or at the time of supply. That is the most important aspect here. The next aspect here, if the discount is given after supply and not known at the time of supply, such discounts are not eligible or cannot be claimed as deduction from transaction value. Now, if we discussed in the first slide where the price is actually paid or payable and the price is sole consideration and supplier and recipient are not related, then you adopt this method. Where the price is not the sole consideration and the supply and recipient may be related, then you have to find out the value of supply as per section 15.4 read with the CGST rules, also known as the valuation rules. Rules 27 to 35 tell us how to calculate the value of supply in such scenarios. Now, let us understand the above format with an example with regard to value of supply. Now, here is a question given. A1 Cars Limited sells a car worth rupees 5 lakh to Zen Automobile. A1 Cars Limited incurred packing charges of rupees 6,000 on the car. Now, A1 Cars Limited provided discount of 1% on the car price as part of Diwali scheme. Now, A1 Cars Limited agreed to provide a further discount of 0.5% if Zen Automobiles makes a payment by 31st of the month via net banking. Now, this is the condition for eligible for claiming discount. Now, Zen Automobiles further makes the payment by the 31st of month using net banking as given in the condition above. Now, you are here asked to find out what is the net GST liability in the hands of Best Cars Limited if the applicable rate of GST given is 18%. If you have understood the question here, let's move on to the solution. Now, in the above problem, the value of product given was 5 lakh rupees. You can see here in the problem. Then packing charges given in the problem is 6,000 rupees. That included packing charges. Then the total value of that becomes 5,06,000. Now here we discussed in our provision that if a discount is agreed upon at the time of making the transaction, then such discounts are eligible to be deducted. Here it says if he makes the payment by 31st of the month, he is eligible for a discount of 0.5% on the total value and also provides a discount of 1% on the car price. So two discounts are given. Now here A1 Cars has, as per the given condition, given 1% on the car as per Diwali scheme. So that is an eligible discount. So transaction value would be 5,06,000 minus 5,000. How is that arrived? 5 lakh into 1%. That is the Diwali discount. And then you find out the transaction value 5,01,000. Now the transaction value would then be added with the GST. Here, since assuming both the recipient and the supplier are in the same state, and this is deemed, and this is a intra-state sale, then the two taxes, that is CGST and SGST, is applicable, hence calculated on this. Further, the invoice price would be 5,91,180 after adding CGST and SGST at 9% each. Now, in the given problem, Zen Automobiles also agrees to the condition of making the payment within the 31st of the month. Hence, he shall also be eligible for the additional discount of 0.5% on the what? On the value of car, and then corresponding taxes should be deducted. Now, let's understand that how is that done. Now, since the discount was known at the time of supply and it can be linked to the specific invoice, the discount amount can be linked to the specific invoice. The discount amount can be reduced from the transaction value. Now, for this, A1 Cars Limited will have to issue something called a credit note. I hope all of you understand what a credit note is to the Zen Automobiles for rupees 2,500. As I told you, 0.5% on 5 lakh. That is equal to 2,500 plus a GST amount on this is to also be deducted, that is 450, and the same must be linked to the relevant tax invoice. Also, if any discount given after supplied but agreed upon or at the time of supply and can be specifically linked to the relevant invoices, such discounts can be deducted from the transaction value as per the provisions of section 15.